Magandang araw mga ka-aerial defense, may ibabahagi na naman ako sa inyo dahil ngayong araw na ito ay may bagay tayong pag-uusapan. Pinakamataas na defense official ng Estados Unidos binanatan ang China kasama ang allies, pero bago tayo magpatuloy huwag mo muna kalimutan mag-like, share, and subscribe. Paki-follow at like muna ng aming page na nasa description na ang link. Binatikos ni US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ang iresponsableng mga aksyon ng China sa West-Philippine Sea na nagresulta sa pinsala ng barko ng Pilipinas at pagkasugat ng Navy personnel ng bansa.
You know, we've been very clear to everyone, to include Beijing, that the kind of behavior that we've seen where Filipino crews are put in danger, where sailors have been injured, and property damage. That's irresponsible behavior, and it disregards international law. So, Phil, I won't get into any hypotheticals on what could happen and how it could happen. I would just say that you've heard me say, you've heard our president say a number of times that our commitment to the treaty is ironclad, and we stand with the Philippines. And finally, let me just say that, as all of us have said, we're doing historic work with the Philippines and helping them modernize their military. And it's exciting work, and we look forward to continuing to make progress. And today's discussions just highlighted the kinds of things that we need to focus on, that we are focusing on, types of exercises and operations we're going to do to ensure that we increase interoperability. So it's been a very, very fruitful day from that standpoint.
Ginawa ng US official ang pahayag sa isang joint press conference sa US Indo-Pacific Command Headquarters sa Honolulu, Hawaii. Dinaluhan din ito ni Philippine Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr., Australian Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Defense Richard Marles, at Japanese Minister of Defense Kiharu Minoru. Ayon pa kay Austin, ang naturang aksyon kung saan nalagay sa panganib ang buhay ng mga Filipino crew na nasugatan at nagdulot ng pinsala sa mga barko ng Pilipinas ay isang pagbaliwala din sa international law. Tinutukoy dito ng US Defense Chief ang pambobomba ng water cannon ng China Coast Guard sa barko ng Pilipinas, habang nagsasagawa ng resupply mission sa Ayungin Shoal noong ika-23 ng Marso na ikinasugat ng 3 Navy personnel. Gayon din ang paggamit ng CCG sa unang pagkakataon ng napakalakas na water cannon sa supply mission ng 2 barko ng PCG at BFAR sa Panatag Shoal, na nagresulta din sa pagkasira ng railings at canopy ng barko ng Pilipinas.
And together with Secretary Teodoro, we held an historic meeting to further deepen the defense relationships among our 4 countries. Just last year in Singapore, the defense ministers from Australia, Japan, the Philippines, and the United States met together for the first time. Today's meeting, the second of its kind, built on that momentum, and it helped advance a vision that our 4 democracies share for a free and open Indo-Pacific. I'm proud of all that the United States has achieved. Each of your countries, gentlemen, since President Biden took office. And I'm proud that all that we've achieved together. Just last month, our 4 militaries conducted a maritime cooperative activity in the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone. This was the second multilateral cooperative activity of its kind in the last 12 months alone. Activities like this don't just strengthen our interoperability, they also build bonds among our forces. And they underscore our shared commitment to international law in the South China Sea. Now, we also talked about the security landscape across the Indo-Pacific and discussed new initiatives to make the region more stable and secure. We're looking to conduct more maritime exercises and activities among our 4 countries. We also want to pursue coordinated security assistance to the Philippines. That will boost interoperability and help the Philippines achieve its defense modernization goals. So it's been a highly productive day. We've gathered here because we share a vision for peace, stability, and deterrence in the Indo-Pacific. We've chartered an ambitious course to advance that vision together. And that's why today's meetings were so important.
Japan consider it is the most important to maintain and bolster free and open international order based on the rule of law. I explained East China Sea situation in the meeting, as well as also issues around South China Sea is the valid interest matters of the international society, including the four nations, which is directly related to the peace and stability of the region. We stand united to strongly oppose any attempt to unilaterally change the status quo of the South China Sea by force or any activity to heighten the tension in the region. Last month, we had a joint exercise with US, Australia, Philippines, and Japan in the South China Sea. And this was the first joint maritime cooperative activities, MCA, by the four nations to strengthen the regional cooperation to realize free and open Indo-Pacific. And at that opportunity, the four ministers who are present today issued a joint statement demonstrated that the solidarity of our four nations to the international society. We would like to continue to pursue the further opportunities of cooperation.
Nangako ang defense chiefs mula sa Amerika, Pilipinas, Japan at Australia na palalimin pa ang kanilang kooperasyon kasabay ng kanilang ikalawang Trilateral Defense Ministerial Meeting sa Hawaii, sa gitna ng mga concern sa mga operasyon ng China sa pinagtatalunang karagatan kabilang ang West Philippine Sea. Ang naturang pagpupulong ay kasunod ng kauna-unahang joint naval exercises ng apat na bansa noong nakalipas na buwan sa disputed waters. Ayon kay US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, ang naval drills ay nagpalakas sa abilidad ng apat na bansa para magtulungan, patatagin ang ugnayan sa kani-kanilang puwersa at binigyang diin ang kanilang shared commitment sa international law pagdating sa pinag-aagwang karagatan. Sinabi naman ni Australian Defense Minister Richard Marles na napag-usapan ng defense chief ang pagtaas ng tempo ng kanilang defense exercises.
As well. Challenge to the global rules-based order in Ukraine is a challenge to the global rules-based order in the East China Sea, in the South China Sea, in the West Philippine Sea. And our four countries are utterly committed to asserting freedom of navigation, to asserting the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, to asserting the global rules-based order around the oceans of the world, including in the West Philippine Sea. Our alliance with the United States has been the cornerstone of Australia's national security since World War II. And today, the security relationship that we have with both Japan and with the Philippines has never been closer. But as close as our respective bilateral relationships are, there is a power and a significance in our four countries acting together. And today, the meetings that we have held represent a very significant message to the region and to the world about four democracies which are committed to the global rules-based order.
Matatandaan na una nang nagpulong ang defense chiefs ng apat na bansa sa Singapore noong nakalipas na taon. Dinistansyahan ni Department of National Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. ang mga usapin na may kaugnayan sa pagpapatupad ng Mutual Defense Treaty sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at Estados Unidos. Kasunod pa rin ito ng pinakahuling insidente ng pangbobomba ng water cannon ng mga barko ng China Coast Guard sa mga barko ng Pilipinas sa Panatag Shoal sa bahagi ng West Philippine Sea. Sa isang pahayag ay tumanggi si Secretary Teodoro na mag-speculate hinggil sa mga kondisyon kung kailan dapat na maipatupad ang Mutual Defense Treaty sa pagitan ng dalawang bansa, sapagkat ito aniya ay isang political decision ng pamahalaan ng ating bansa. Punto ng kalihim, ang trabaho nila sa Defense Department ay nakasentro sa pagtiyak ng capability building, deterrence, at pagprotekta sa bansa. Kaugnay nito ay binigyang diin din ni Secretary Teodoro na hindi dapat gamitin ang Mutual Defense Treaty bilang pangtakot sa alinmang bansa.
I, for one, as Defense Secretary, would like to steer away the discussion from a scenario when or in what occasions the MDT may be invoked. When our jobs as secretaries is to make sure that there are no situations through capability building, through deterrence, that an MDT situation would arise. And so we are very conscious of the fact that we need to assert our rights, but in a manner that safeguards the safety of each and every member of the Philippine Armed Force, which is the principal actor in the area. And the talk about MDT sometimes also is exploited in the international press and used sometimes as a bogeyman in order for our countries bilaterally and multilaterally to go forward with legitimate hardening measures for the Republic of the Philippines. So I would stay away from theoretical and hypothetical talks on the MDT because to me these are counterproductive. It is an agreement and it will be a political decision at the end of the day of both principally the Philippine government when to invoke it. And I will leave it at that.
Samantala, sa kabilang banda naman ay sinabi ni United States Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin na hindi subject ng mga hypothetical scenarios ang naturang treaty ng Pilipinas at Estados Unidos, at ang anumang pinsala aniya sa mga barko at tropa ng Pilipinas ay maituturing na irresponsible behavior. Kasabay nito ay muli niyang binigyang diin ang commitment ng Estados Unidos sa Mutual Defense Treaty nito sa Pilipinas, gayon din ang kanilang suporta sa ating bansa.
The underlying principle of this meeting is a shared respect for a rules-based international order and the upholding of international law. And it is safe to say that four independent countries, voicing the same message means an important thing in the face of a unilateral declaration by a single theater actor. And this is what perhaps the symbolic suggestion of four defense ministry and department heads are here today. And in this spirit of upholding a rules-based international order, a free and open Indo-Pacific, and upholding international law, we meet here once again today in the latest iteration of our four countries multilateral cooperation. We are gratified to see that the Philippines' role as at the forefront of severe challenges to its territorial rights, challenging the accepted norms of international law are accepted by like-minded nations. We welcome their partnership and in cooperation, not only to protect solely its territorial integrity and sovereignty, but to uphold, once again, let me reiterate, principles of international law which guide the global order in the proper way that nations should live amongst each other. On a more concrete note, this latest iteration will give birth to further cooperation and coordination and interoperability between four of our countries, which the four of us have committed to work closer together in order to have more synergies and partnerships in order to make this alliance that we have stronger and more sustainable in the long run.
Para sa mas madaming update tungkol sa ating defense, abangan lamang ang aking mga bagong video. Para naman sa mga gusto magpa-shoutout, mag-comment lamang po at share, paki-follow at like muna ng aming page na nasa description na ang link. Huwag mo na rin kalimutan mag-like, share, and subscribe. Pindutin mo na rin ang bell para updated kayo sa aking mga video. Maraming salamat po.